Vibe unmatched. Big Red Diva in the building. Let's talk. Pull up, tune in, let's talk tonight. Big Red Diva got the mood that's right. Real talk, real people, no filter vibes. The grown folk talk sector come alive. Pull up, tune in, let's vibe tonight. Conversation heavy, but the mood feel light. From love to life, we say what's real. Big Red Diva tell you how we feel. Pull up, tune in, let's talk tonight. Big Red Diva got the mood just right. Real talk, real people, no filter vibes. The grown folk talk sector come alive. Pull up, tune in, let's vibe tonight. Conversation heavy, but the mood feel light. From love to life, we say what's real. Big Red Diva tell you how we feel.
Grand Rising, my good people. How is everything going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Grand Rising, I am Streets. How are you this morning? I'm just jumping on here doing a little something, not too much. Not too much. Really didn't have a topic, but I went over by a new station that I found on yesterday that was introduced to me by Mama Roz. I don't know if a lot of you guys are familiar with Mama Roz. Oh my, all night on TikTok. TikTok is interesting. I like TikTok. I don't visit over there a whole lot. But I'm a start, because they say it's a good another good form of a stream. Um all night I am streets. You don't have to get you a cup of coffee to keep you going. I hope you don't have to go to work this morning because you're gonna be tired. You have to get you some energy drinks or something to that nature, or call out and go to sleep. But yeah, Mama Roz was a guest on Black Media Talk, I think is the name of the station. It's a good station, and their topics yesterday. Okay, good, you're off. Um, the topic yesterday was dealing with. Well, I don't want to get off into that because what I want to talk about this morning is totally different. But she did well yesterday. The topic was, uh, is the church the Antichrist? Maybe you guys want to think about that, and I'll probably speak on that the next time. But this morning, I'm kind of like going off the top of the dome because I really didn't have nothing to say. What I really was trying to do is get my StreamYard together, and I realized that I subscribed to StreamYard on my backup channel, and I don't know how to connect the two if that's possible. And I've been toying and playing with that all morning. because I only have one subscriber on the other channel, which is myself. And that channel is just labeled Chanel Jorman. Um, so maybe I might have to get a couple of you guys to subscribe to that channel for me, and then I could get it up and running on my StreamYard, and I guess then make the connection. Um, but I was outdone with that because I couldn't. I want my StreamYard to be connected to this channel. So I'm gonna have to get my computer and all of that stuff hooked back up and take it from there, I gather. But anyway, um my topic this morning is why a poor man could date. No, that's wrong. Uh, um, a man could date a poor woman, but a poor woman won't date a man. I think I'm saying that right, you guys. Well, this is what it all boils down to. If you're in a relationship or getting ready to enter a relationship, so basically, this is about relationships. Um, a man that has no money or no job, he's frowned upon. But a woman could have no money and no job, and she's praised. So it's okay for a man to accept a woman with no money, no job, but it's not okay for a woman to accept a man with no money and no job. So my question is basically, how do you guys feel about that? Well, I'm going to give you my personal opinion because society frowns upon a man that has no job, no money. And 9 times out of 10, he don't get the support that he needs. And I truly believe it's unfair. And I also believe that the way, salute to everybody that's coming in. Um, I also believe that because it's been instilled in us by society to pretty much frown upon a man that has no job, no money. And I personally think that it's unfair because you don't know what the situation may be with that man that he has no money, no job. Now, this is not for a lazy man that don't want to get out there and work. Because a man don't work, don't eat, and vice versa. A woman don't work, don't eat. But it's doors and revenues, that's open for a woman that doesn't work and doesn't have any money. It's things out there, that she can get, assistance and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? The assistance that's available for a woman versus what's available for a man. So again, I don't think it's fair to men because you don't know that individual's situation. So, me personally, I don't frown up on a man that don't have a job. Because if I could help in any kind of way, I would. If I could guide you down the right directions. Hello, gas man. How are you? How are you? If I could put you in uh the direction of getting the job, then that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. Ladies, we have to learn in certain situations. Some men need help just like we do, you see. So I'm not saying for you to just take in a man and he don't want to do nothing and you just taking care of that man whole soul and body. No. If you could help, help. Now we do have some men out there that take advantage of women. Um, what are you talking about? Stay tuned. So you supposed to, I mean, if a person come to you for help, and like I say, if you can guide him in the right direction, or if job offers are out there, and then two, it's a such thing as thank you, sweetheart. Um, filling out applications, going online and doing all of that type of stuff. But I don't frown up on a man that doesn't have a job, or I don't frown up on a man that, society may say, oh, he works at McDonald's or he works at Burger King. Oh, no, that's not the one. Income is an income. No, you cannot. You could get a private block. Don't come on my panel with that bull crap, okay? You don't know me, I don't know you, but you can get a private block. Where is my block button? Uh, let's see. Yeah, there you go. Don't play with me. Uh, don't come over here with your foolishness. Yeah, this is the grown folk talk sector over here, but I don't play all of that foolishness that, some of these people come over here and play. If I don't see it, my moderators are not in yet as we speak, but it's okay. I'm watching. Um, but anyway, I don't frown upon a man that would agree to work at a McDonald's or a Burger King or any fast foods to that nature, because I look at the fact that uh you're trying, you're putting forth an effort. And even with that, we are gonna find a way to where we could own a McDonald's at one point in life, you know. So there's nothing wrong with it. Well, we don't know again why that man may not have a job, but once we find out, it could be health issues, it could be, just down on my luck, right now, and just need a little support. And that's where the woman steps in. Uh, we have to learn how to be more supportive when it comes down to our black men. Hey, Mad Max, thank you for coming over. We have to be learn how to be more supportive of our black men, because society puts it where black women are to frown upon the black man. We show him no respect because, oh, you don't have a job, or you may still be living with your mom, or you don't have a car. See, when we get past all of that, then I feel as though relationships will work out better. just life in general. Okay, but I'm not talking to these black men that just don't want to do nothing. I'm not wanting to make the path easy for you, because I don't feel like no one should live off of anyone unless it's an agreement. I don't feel like a woman should live off a man and vice versa unless the two come together and that's the agreement. Hey, Big Brenda, Grand Rising. Glad you stopped in. Yeah, it's an agreement. So when you're in a relationship, I'm gonna put you already in a relationship, and say for instance, uh, the man is laid off or fired for some reason or another. Okay, that's not grounds for the woman to say, okay, I'm ending the relationship because you don't have a job. That's no loyalty. That you never had a relationship from the beginning. If you could just walk away so easily, because if the shoe was on the other foot, I'm sure if that man is into you and that man loves you, he's not going to walk away from you. Okay. But I do believe if the man loses a job for whatever reason, then okay, I could feel supporting you, for a period of time, for a period of time. And I think it's fair, because you have to sit down again and talk about this and come to an agreement. We just not gonna get fired or laid off or whatever, and oh, it is what it is, and I'll just go get another job whenever. No, let's talk about it. And sometimes it take a little bit longer than norm to get a job. Sometime 2 months, sometime 3 months. It just all depends. 6 months, whatever. Just all depends. But I still say the woman should not frown upon the man because of the situation. Everything comes with communication. Because I hear women talk all the time. Oh, I'm not gonna date a man if he don't have this, and I'm not gonna date a man if he don't have that. Okay, well, what do you have? What are you bringing to the table? Because I'm sure he feels the same way. I don't believe in uh a man stepping into a relationship and everything is on him. Now, if that's the agreement, then okay, fine. But I'm just not gonna go into a relationship and assume. Grand Rising on 3000. Thank you for coming over. I'm not gonna just assume going into the relationship that okay, you got everything. You're gonna pay for everything. That's not fair. But again, if that's the agreement, Grand Rising Nika, thank you for stopping over. If that's the agreement, but I don't believe in, you know, you gonna do this and you gonna do that. You gonna take care of this and you gonna take care of that, and I'm gonna keep mine. That's not fair. So I'm gonna tell you a story, and it was shocking to me because these two people, and they are celebrities. They were celebrities. I think he's passed on, and she's still here. But I don't know if you guys know the story about Ashford and Simpson. And Ashford, which is the lady, she told the story. She was already well off in her career. And she used to go and feed the homeless. She used to volunteer at a soup kitchen. Um, throughout the week. That was like her pastime, giving back to the community. And one day, Simpson walked in, and he frequently started, visiting the soup kitchen, and, he was homeless. And she went over, she said, and, just struck up a conversation with him. They talked, got to know one another. She invited him over after a while because, he was coming to the soup kitchen every day. Uh, he was homeless. So she invited him over for dinner. Yes, Ashford and Simpson was back in our days, 3000. Um, so they got to know each other, and I mean, she found that he could sing, and the story is history. If we all know Ashford and Simpson, they made beautiful music together, and they were a beautiful couple. So I gave that example because she was already established in life. She was already award, had awards for her records and everything. She was a part of Motown. She was making money. So he came into the relationship with absolutely zero. He was homeless, eating at the soup kitchen. She didn't know what his struggle was, but she saw potentials. She saw a man that was broken and needed some guidance. Hey, Firecracker, thank you for coming over. And I'm not meaning any harm, you guys, but let's say Grand Rising, because I did some research on Good Morning, and that's gonna be another topic as well. Okay, Candies, what's happening? Good morning. Thank you for stopping in. Yeah, so she saw potential. She didn't know he could sing, but inviting him over, she had a piano in her house. He sat at the piano and he started to play. And that was another thing that she didn't know. He started to play the piano and he also started singing. And that's when she realized, hey, we could make life together. So why would you frown upon a man that has no job? Why would you kick him to the curb because he has no job? Women do it every day. And then a man will take you on, woman, with no job. Sometime will take you in and you have a house full of kids and not one of them is his. They made, baby, the music that Ashford and Simpson made is just like it's just unreal. But if you don't do your history on people, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't have never known. I would have never known. So with seeing that, that gave me a whole nother outlook on my black man. And one thing about it, I love my black man. Exactly. Exactly. But what and they and what you said 3000, that's a whole lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. You see, but what black women have to realize is we can't throw that in the man's face, when mad they come. Oh, if it wasn't for me, you would, we got to stop doing that. That's putting the black man down, and that's what I am totally against. I don't like that, and I don't like when the black man put the woman down either. We have to stop that. That's division, and that's what those other people want to see with us. That's what they want to see. And that's what we need to stop. So that's why it's so important to me when I go into a relationship or I'm dating, we have to sit down and we have to have a talk, because I need to know, what it is that you're looking for. What do you want? You know, I'm not gonna go in and just assume we're a couple, because 9 times out of 10, you know, some men are not thinking on that level. They just wanna date and whatever, whatever. But we have to come to some kind of agreement. We have to talk about it, because I don't want to be in the blind thinking it's something that it's not. And a lot of times, you know, men, you guys fail to let the woman know, what it is that you want, because in some way you may be, oh, well, I want to get with her so bad, I'm going to miss out on something. No, you can't miss nothing that you never had. Exactly. They want to see the black family divided. Nika, you said a mouthful, honey. Good morning, Mia. How are you? Uh, I'm totally against that. So, we have to do better. We have to do better toward one another. So, again, the communication is so important. It's so important. So you tell me, I'm gonna ask, okay, what is it that you want? What so this relationship, or whatever we're gonna agree to, before we go any further. So when you tell me what it is that you want, then I'll know how to guard myself, because women are nurturers, and if we like something, we have a tendency of, like, really clinging and wanting to be in love, and wanting to be in a serious relationship, and you know wanting that security. So yes, we first have to get to know one another, and then it'll move on to whatever it is that it's going to move on to. But I have to know going in, and these are my personal opinions, you guys. A lot of y'all might not feel the same way, but this is what I feel. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you how I break it down. When I meet someone, and my first question is, are you already in a relationship? Because sometimes we run into men that's already in a relationship and things are not going right, or I'm in the process of transitioning, I'm leaving, or whatever the case may be. You see, so if that occurs, then I'm like, okay, well, hey, let's give it a little more time, because if you are getting ready to leave, I'm gonna need you to be gone, because all the time getting ready to leave don't, some kind of way, you never gone, you never left, you're still there. And when you look, it's uh months and years gone by, and now you didn't put me in a situation that I don't want to be in, or I put myself in the situation because You said I'm in the process of leaving, and because I heard you're in the process of leaving, then okay, well let me jump on in. And you see, all the time it's not you're leaving. So that's communication. Well, if you're in the process of leaving, honey, I'm gonna need you to already be gone, and then you come back if I'm available. Okay. Say, for instance, that person comes back 3 months later. They're gone in his own place, whatever. We still gonna sit down and talk because it's still fresh. It's still fresh. Okay, what do you want? What are you looking for? So, man, that's where you come in and say, okay, well, right now I just want to be your friend. Okay, so what type of friend you want to be? You want to be a friend where we just talking, and because I break this thing down like it's a football team. You feel me? So, uh friend, we just talking on the phone here or there. We may go out to lunch, we may go out to dinner, and that's it. Or you want to be a friend with benefits. Okay, ladies, friends with benefits. I'm your friend with benefits. Benefits meaning a sexual encounter. Some ladies say they can handle that, and some ladies and some ladies can't. Because when you are entering the intimate part of the relationship and we're just friends, sometimes your feelings will get involved and you want to be with that man and that man only. But that's not what that man wants. That man wants friends with benefits. So friends with benefits, it's a lot of gates that's open with that. That means he could go and be with whomever he wants to be with outside of you. Ladies, can you handle that? Some can, some can't. But that's why it's important to talk about all this before you go there. Because for me, if we don't have these discussions, it does change on both sides. Feelings, like you say, get involved and everything. That's why I say you have to talk about it. You have to talk about it. So with me, if I'm dealing with somebody and it's understood that we're friends with benefits, okay, you could go outside of this friendship with benefits, and so can I. And when we meet, we meet. Nika, I understand. A lot of women can't do it. And I'm one that I can't do it. I could do it, but I don't want to do it. You see, I could do it, but I don't want to do it. Not at this time in my life. I'm single, and I do want to be married again. I've been married twice, and I do want to be married again. So I can't do the friends with benefits, but I can, but I don't want to. But if you are in a situation like that and then you have to play that position. That's the position that you accepted. That's the position that you have to hold down. Now, if you see you can't handle it, then the best thing for you to do is back up, because that man has told you, all I want is to be your friend, and every now and again we may cross the line. If that's something that you agree to, ladies, you have to hold up your end of the bargain and get out of your head, because 9 times out of 10, this is not going to work. I could be his friend with benefits, but I'm going to change his mind. Once I finish putting this good punani on him, he going to want to be my old man. Not necessarily. Because that man is going to only change for the woman that he wants to change for. And 9 times out of 10, it might not be you. And you could be giving him the best sex ever. If you not the one he want to change for, he not gonna do it. And it don't come under because you accepted the position. Because I know a lot of women that done been down that road, and yes, they end up with that man at the end of the day. But that doesn't mean that's gonna work out for everybody. So men, being y'all are what a woman wants, then you have to be honest about what it is that you want. And that way the woman would know, okay, well, this is what it is, and I can't focus on being more than what it already is because he's told me what it is. Now if you don't have that communication, this is where your problem gonna come in at. If you don't have that communication and letting that woman know what you want, and then they go in assuming that, okay, well, we are doing all of this, yeah, we started off as friends with benefits, but now it's getting where I'm falling for that man. And you, man, you still not saying anything. And then, okay, I'm assuming that we are in a relationship, and I see you with another woman. That's where it's going to get bad because you didn't tell me all you wanted was to be friends with benefits. This is where your communication didn't come in at. And I'm assuming, because we're doing all of this, that, and the other. And even though you're giving me the signs that this is what it is, in the back of my mind, we together. So if I see you with another woman, that's where the problem is going to start. Because you know what we do, we're going to cause a scene. Grand Rising Wisdom, thank you for stopping over. Yes, we're going to cause a scene. And then, man, you're looking like, well, what is going on with you? We're not a couple. And I'm like, what? I didn't know we wasn't a couple. You didn't tell me we wasn't a couple. So in my mind, we're a couple. And I'm gonna act a fool. So to avoid all of that, yeah, thank you. To avoid all of that, just be honest from the jump, man. Just be honest from the jump. Just tell me what it is. But women, we have to get out of the of being afraid of asking the man what is it that he's looking for. Because again, we can't miss nothing we never had. Yeah, this is a good looking man. I'm loving what I see, and I'm gonna just give 3,000 his props. That's a good looking black man. So I know he got problems. If you don't tell the ladies what time it is, I don't know if you're married or whatever, but I've been on your page and I've seen your pictures and this and that, and you are a handsome black man. So in your situation, you would have to tell the woman what it is that you want if you're not looking to be in a committed relationship right now. You would have to tell that woman what it is that you are looking for and let her make the decision on whether or not she want to be in that type of relationship with you. Yeah, I get up with it all the time, honey. And I just, sometimes getting on here, it's kind of challenging, because of what we deal with throughout the day. And I can be sometimes a bit easy, and then other times I be on one. And I don't like to rub people the wrong way. And I'm a people person. Um, exactly. I'm sure. I'm sure. um, yeah, I'm a free agent over here. I go everywhere. I love everybody, and I don't do the picking the sides. I don't do that. Now if you give me the side, I'll accept it. You see, like all of what's going on in the YouTube streets now with all of DG and Mink and all of this. And I'ma just, I know I'm getting off subject right now, but I'm gonna get back on it. But I'm just gonna say this. Uh, I didn't like Mink from day one. And I'm a realist, and I just say what it is. If I don't like you and I have a problem, you're gonna hear from me. So I've said it throughout the chats that she's been in and this and that. I don't like what's going on. I pray that they get their business together, but I didn't like Mink from jump, and that's just that on that. But yeah, so I'm saying that, to say I am a people person, and I'm everywhere. So if you see me, I'm everywhere. And 9 times out of 10, I'm speaking to everybody that I could speak to. And I know sometimes the other content creators, here come Big Red Diva with all that speaking and this, that, and the other. I love speaking to people. I'm a people person, and I like for your lives or your chats to be colorful, just colorful everywhere. Yeah, so I'm an honest person, and if I have a problem with you, I'ma come to you. So, there it is. But anyway, yeah, we have to let the person know, because it will be a problem. If I'm thinking that you're my old man and I see you with another woman, and that's where all hell is gonna break loose. And I could believe it, 3,000. I could believe it. Um, you see, but until, you know, something is done to me, I give people the benefit of the doubt. And I try, with listening to Mink and thank you, sweetie. And just really trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. But when you just constantly do things to hurt a person, or trying to make it like you're the victim all the time, that shit gets to be annoying. And for your age, come on, you in your 40s, stop with the bullshit. you know yeah. And I speak on, life experiences, because a lot of things that I've experienced in life, I find that a lot of people on this app has gone through it too. And if I see it, I speak on it, and let you know what I did to come out of it. Now, just because I did it a certain way doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. You just find your way. So again, it's all about guidance, but that's another story. But yeah, when we learn how to communicate with one another, then it'll be better, in relationships and all. So a question was asked to me: would I date a man that works at the McDonald? And my answer was yes. And the person looked at me like, really? Yeah. Why not? An income is an income. And my thing is, you could start off as frying the French fries. I'm gonna encourage my man every morning he get up to go to that job. Baby, you fry them French fries and you make them the goldenest brown that you can make them, and you make them taste and look good. And when those customers come through, they gonna brag on those fries. And then guess what? Management looking at that, whatever. So they're gonna move you on over to um making the sandwiches. I'm gonna encourage that man every morning, honey. You get up and you make that doggone, you toast that bread, that brown that be toasted, and butter it, and you put that lettuce on there to perfection, and that tomato or whatever the case may be. And when they get that burger, it looks inviting. So we gonna move you from station to station. Then you're gonna become a crew leader. Then after you become a crew leader, you're gonna become an assistant manager. And after you become that assistant manager, then you're gonna take on that general manager's position. And then once you general manager, the general managers, they travel, right? If I'm not mistaken. Then you go and sit up there in the office with corporate. And then once you get to corporate, then that's when we gonna lay out on the table, well, how can I go about owning a McDonald's? Owning a McDonald's. So see, I think outside the box. It's no little bitty job. It's no big job. A job is a job. An income is an income. Exactly. Provide for your family by any means necessary. So, whatever job you take on, I be striving for ownership or learning the skill. And when it's time for me to step out, opening my own business where I don't have to answer to no one. I own my own business. I can hire my own crew, and that's in whatever job. It doesn't just necessarily have to be a McDonald's. That is in whatever your career is. You can own your own business. I was a hairstylist for 40 years. It's in my blood. I've had 3 salons. I'm going to open another salon, but I'm going to be behind the scenes. So I had to be taught my craft to a certain degree. I was born with the talent. I've been dealing with baby dolls since I was 3 years old, and I was styling baby doll hair out. By the age of 5, my mom was like, "What is this girl doing?" Because every 7 days I had to have 7 new baby dolls. Because all of my other baby dolls had a hairstyle and I didn't want to take it down. And everything was different. Thank you, sweetheart. Up until I got to where I'm going to beauty school. And I went to beauty school for my certificate and to learn the proper way of handling my tools, my sanitation, and things to that nature. But the skill I had, it was born. I was born with it. So once I was taught, I graduated beauty school. I worked in a lot of salons. And when the Lord blessed me with my first salon in ownership, I was 43. But I've been doing hair since I was licensed to do hair since I was 16. So I had to learn, I had to, being in the different salons, I was learning the do's and the don'ts and how to treat your customers. And okay, see, see, that's right. And you keep her encouraged. You keep her encouraged and let her know, oh, okay, well, she's general now. So she's up there with the big people. So now she needs to be talking to them about how to own a franchise. That's what you need to be, you know, talking to her. And if you could back her up in it, if she need any type of sponsorship with purchasing the business, then 3,000, you help her. Or encourage other family members that's able to back her up in getting getting her own franchise. Outside of maybe it's a grant or something that she could apply for that'll help her purchase the building. Yeah, but keep encouraging her. That's what we are supposed to do. Congratulations to her. Yeah. So yeah, you get whatever skill you have, take it and open up your own business. You don't have to stress out about punching somebody else's clock when you could take that same thing and open up your own. And then it still all comes in communicating with one another. So in your relationship, as long as you know where that person stands, you don't know where to go. I'm not going to deal with him because he has no job. But if you see potentials, sit down and have a talk. Ashford did, and her and Simpson became a couple that everybody loved. So you see where that thing goes. We kind of like all over the place, but it all come back to communication. So if you're in that friendship with benefits and it don't work out, then hey, you can't beat yourself up about it, and you can't beat him up about it either, because that's what you agreed to. Play your position. If you can't play your position, pass the ball. Now, no woman wants to know that she's sharing a man that she really likes. But again, if you can't handle it, don't accept it. I mean, because it's a lot. I've been there. I've been there. And like I say, I could do it, but at this point in my life, I don't want to. And that's like over the years of like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to accept for now. But I go in telling you what I'm looking for. Let's shine. That's right. Yes. A natural born talent is the best. But yeah, it's our time to shine. Let's do it. And it all starts with us coming together. We got to come together. We got to stop all of this foolishness. You got to learn how to, control your feelings. Now, if we are in a relationship, if we come to that agreement, we are in this committed relationship. Men, I don't want my man stepping out on me at no way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm everything you need. You want me to be Carmelita? I can be Carmelita. You want me to be, and she's Mexican. If you want me to be Lily, the Chinese lady, I could be her too. If you want me to be Becky, that white girl, I could be her too. And I also could be Chanel, who I am, Big Red Diva. And you'll love Chanel. You'll love her because she could be all those women who name I call in one. You ain't got to go outside Chanel and get a Becky. You ain't got to go outside Chanel and get a Carmelita. You ain't got to go outside Chanel and get a Lily because she's here. Big Red Diva is the blogger. So when I say I could be all those people, I don't mind role playing in my relationship. I can role play. And when you are in a relationship with a man, ladies, I mean whatever it takes to please him. Because if you don't, they will step outside. And that's what you don't want. Okay, honey. Listen. And I hope you have a wonderful day, your first day back at school with those babies. um yeah, the only thing that we're not gonna do, I don't do threesomes. We're not gonna do that. We already in a threesome. Me, you, and Carmelita. That's the threesome. Because I got to get in character. And then once I come out of character, then I'm back to Chanel. That's my government name. And I don't care about you knowing it because I am who I am. I don't believe in all that doxing and shit. And like I say, if you put my shit on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube without my permission, you going to pay the piper. So I'm going to be me. I'm going to take care of you. I'm gonna do what I have to do to make sure you don't step out. It'll never be boring. And I'm looking for, the same in return. Because I don't want my man cheating on me. I don't want him to have to step out in the streets for nothing. Everything is at home, baby. So women, we got to get out of all of that. What I'm not gonna do now. I'm not gonna do no threesome. That's just out. I'm not. But it's still everything that you choose to do. It's us coming to an agreement. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is what I'll do. This is what I don't do. And women, you have that right, and men as well. You have every right to say what I'm not going to do and what I am going to do. And if I'm not in agreement, then I'm not going to be in the relationship because this is what I like to do. And if you're not pleasing me, then what that leads me to do? Step out on you. So if I got to step out on you, I don't need to be with you. You wasting my time because I'm not going to not want to do what it is that I like. So if I know I'm dealing with a man that want to have threesomes, then I'm not going to be involved with that man because I'm not having a threesome. And I'm not going to waste my energy arguing and bickering with you about something that you like to do because I can't stop it. So why put myself through the headaches when it's understood that this is what you want? And if I'm not willing to give it to you, you're going to go outside of the relationship and get it. So we're not going to be in a relationship because it's a woman out there that going to allow you to have your threesome. I'm not. Hey, Mary Charles, Grand Rising. I'm not. So yeah, all of that'll save you some time and effort, and energy, where I don't have to argue with this man. I don't have to argue with this woman because this is not what I like. So we're gonna go our separate ways. I'm gonna let you go and find that woman that don't mind doing these threesomes for you. Again, I can't miss nothing I ain't never had. Now, like I say, I'm gonna make sure you're gonna be pleased in every way imaginable. Because I'm gonna let you know this is what I like to do and this is what I don't want to do. I don't like it and I'm not doing it. But this is what I will do. I have no problem with pleasing you in that area, but I'm gonna need you to do what I like to be done too. Yeah, so we all gotta communicate, and you gotta let me know. So if I'm the quarterback on this team, then I ain't looking for nothing else to fall behind. I'm the quarterback. That's where it ends. Now, if you come to me and say, okay, well, you the quarterback, Big Red Diva, you the quarterback, but I need a wide receiver and all the rest of the stuff. Okay, well, if I agree to that, then all right. But otherwise, nah, I am the football team and I'm gonna cover every area. But if I agree to, long as I'm holding the ball and you want to go over there, then that's what I agreed to. So I'm gathering you guys get the picture. Y'all get the picture. So again, I'm not gonna put my black man down because he doesn't have a job. I'm not gonna put my black man down because he works at the McDonald's. And ladies, we need to stop judging our men off of that. You don't know what the potentials are. Now if you see it firsthand, then okay, don't step into that. If you see it's no potentials, he's not looking for anything but a handout, then you leave that alone. Okay, because God gonna give you that instinct. You're gonna know. You're gonna know. Because I feel as though if Ashford and Simpson's spirit wasn't connected or supposed to be connected, she'd have never invited him to her place. She'd have never wanted to say, let me get to know him. She'd have just went to that soup kitchen like she did every morning, served, and got her bags and gone. Yeah, they paying $20 an hour now, and that's excellent. But even when they was paying 7.25, whatever minimum wage was back then, I still didn't have a problem with a man working at a McDonald's because it was an income. I have two sons. I have a daughter too, but my two sons. My oldest son told me one day, he said, Mom, I'm going to get out there and get it by any means necessary. If I got to go flip a burger to make me some extra, that's what I'm going to do. And my son at the time, we have a produce warehouse here called Associated Groceries. I'm from Louisiana, Baton Rouge. And this place, deliver produce and all the things that you need in the grocery store. And he started off making like I think $10 an hour. And he landed that job at the age of 19. And he just left that job about 6 months ago because he's an engineer now. And he's over the road, different states doing his welding, underwater engineer. So that's what he's doing now. But he held that job down from the age of 19 up until like 6 months ago. All in the process, he was going to school to be an engineer and still working. So he told me in his journey, if he had to flip a burger, that's what he would do. And on several different occasions throughout his life, he done worked at a McDonald's and he done worked at a Sonic and other fast food restaurants. And I never said anything to him about it. He came to me with it. But when they asked me at the age of 16, what you're getting me for my birthday, I'll be 16 in 3 weeks. We're going to get you a job, honey. We're going to get some applications. Yeah, we're going to get some applications, honey. That's your birthday present. Happy sweet 16, a job. And they've been working ever since. All three of mine. And guess where I was? Uh, Filling out the application with them. When it was time for the interview, I was sitting in on the interview with them. When the managers asked, will you be to work on time? Oh, yes, sir. They'll be to work 30 minutes early. And we do the 30 minutes early, or maybe sometime even an hour, because everybody mind has to open up in the morning. I don't like going on a job and as soon as I get on the job, I go straight to work. No, I want to unwind. I want to, just get my thoughts together. If I need a cup of coffee in the morning, I could drink that cup of coffee and, I could just meditate. And then when it's time for me to clock in, guess what? I'm ready. I done got that tiredness off of me. That old sluggish when you get up in the morning, you just want to, oh, I'm tired. Let me just finish, resting and get this. Yeah, all of that is out the way. So when I punch that clock, hey, I'm doing my job with no hesitation. Everything good. I ain't still yawning over them people burgers and all of that and this and that. Yeah. So, and every job I took them to, they were hired. And my kids love to work. And then all that keep them occupied and out of the streets. So that's some more advice to my ladies, put them babies to work instead of giving them. It's okay to give, but they have to learn how to earn. Because see, it may come a day where you can't give, and then that leads into crime. I've been all over the place with this. All over the place. But yeah, that leads into crime. My mama can't give it to me. I'm used to having this. So now I'm going to go take it. And then who's to say you won't get caught? Then that's another story. So when you teach them early on, you don't have that problem. Now, not saying that they're not going to do devilish things, because kids are going to be kids. But their chances of doing something major is slim and none. Because they ain't got time to think about going rob no bank because my mama couldn't get me those Jordans. And then I didn't raise mine to be material. We got to have a name brand. No, 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 no. As long as you have clothes to cover your body and shoes on your feet, that's all that matters. We ain't trying to live like the Joneses. We just trying to live. And then if it come to a point in time where you want to spend your money on labels, then that's on you. But we had a balance, some labels, some not. But I found that I could dress those non-labels up and you just swear to God it's a label. But for those of you that could afford it and that could do it, then kudos. Everybody could afford anything they want in life. I just choose not to have my kids thinking that labels is what it is. Clothes is what it is. Shoes are what they are because we all need them. So if we teach early on as parents, then I think, it'll be a better way. We won't have so much crime going on and people being disappointed and where when I say in the relationships you won't be tied up with the wrong baby mama or the wrong baby daddy. It all boils down to communication in whatever the situation is, so that one thing why a man could date a woman with no money but a woman can't date a man with no money. So it's all kind of avenues that you could go down in just that one statement. I just did it. Communication. And you can make it happen. And I do think we'll be happier as a race. And then respect. We got to get back to respecting one another. I hate when I'm on this app and the men are calling the women bitches and the women are calling men bitches. That is just so degrading and unclassy and sickening to me. I'm not gonna be called out my name. You're gonna respect me like I respect you. 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna even argue. Now, had I been acting a fool on this app when it came down to the mink situation? Yes, I have, and I apologize. But I just, like I say, from day one, I didn't like that lady. So yes, I know a lot of you have seen me in the chat cutting the rug, talking crazy. I don't like the way she move. I don't like the things she do. I don't like the things she say. I don't like how she try to, misconstrue everybody's words and, making you seem like you're the dummy when it all boiled down to she is the dummy. So I'm a woman that I could admit to anything that I do wrong because I don't want to sound like I'm, stereotyping myself. Now she say one thing and then I don't like that lady. And if it's other people on here that I don't like, I'll make that perfectly clear as well. But right now, nobody else has, gotten up under my skin. Now it is a few others that, I can't really mix with right now. Uh, and if I have to make mention of them at some point, I will. But let's try to get out of all of the foolery. And if you are, behind the scenes, talking to someone that you met on the app, when mad they come, stop airing out people's dirty laundry. That is so uh unladylike and not classy at all to me. If you a genuine friend, I don't care what we have going on. I'm not, if you confided in me in something, I'm not finna, mad they come. Oh well, yeah, let me tell you what. That's just crazy as I don't know what. If we have come to a road in our life, well, okay, well, I think this needs to end. Now, if you choose to put out there something that I've confided in you in, and 9 times out of 10, I'm only gonna tell you what I want you to know. And if you put that out, I really don't care. Because if I told it to you, then hey, if that's the way you go when mad they come, well, that's just letting me know you're not the mature person that I thought you were. And you only have one time. It's not all these, I'm gonna give you another chance, I'm gonna give you another chance. Hell no. If you rub me the wrong way the first time, that's just that on that. Now I am a spiritual person, and when I say I didn't like her from jump, the spirit, it didn't connect. I couldn't, and I did try. But then after I saw how you move, I don't want to be with a person that move like that. Do I want to see everything that's going on with her? One side of me no, but the other side of me, yeah, I give it to her because of what she did since I've been on this app. And I understand, Mary Charles, it is some things that you have to keep to yourself. And I don't like when I feel that snake vibe, honey, I move around. I move around. And I do have a couple of people that I talk behind the scenes with. I met them on here and we connect. And I just say what I have to say from jump. I'm not that type of person where when mad they come and you done told me something, I'm finna go run and tell it to YouTube. No, the hell I'm not. And each person that I talk to, whatever I talk to that person about, that's between me and that person. I'm not going to the next person and say, oh, well, I talked to such and such, and they say I don't do that. And then everybody that I deal with behind the scenes, we all deal with one another. And I'm not gonna sit back and talk about now I'm just gonna put out there who I talk to behind the scenes. I talk to Pretty Trucker behind the scenes. I talk to Mama Roz behind the scenes. I've talked to Sad and Blue behind the scenes, and every now and again I will call and check up on Sad and Blue. Um, but our conversations are not as ongoing as Pretty Trucker and I and Mama Roz and I. And I'm not gonna sit and what I discuss with Mama Roz, I'm gonna discuss it with Pretty Trucker. I don't do that. And I can only speak for myself. Like I say, whatever else, I have no control of how somebody else moves. I have no control of that. But I know what I'm not gonna do. Because my thing is, I'm gonna let God deal with you. And if you are genuine to me, and which I know this is impossible because a person is not going to be as genuine to you as you are to them. You're not going to be the same type of friend to me that I am to you because we're two different people. But like I say, you only have one time to cross me and we're done. And that's anybody. I cut off family members and all if you cross me. And again, I'm going to tell you what I want you to know. I know how far to go, and I'm sure those are grown, mature ladies. They know how far to go with me. And that's perfectly fine because I never met these people in real life. I met these people on the app. And it's the same with the people in my chat. I'm loving all of y'all. I vibe with all of y'all. Every last one of y'all. We never met in person, but we vibe through the different channels. And that's how you meet people. That's how you get to know people. Now, who's to say one day we won't meet in real life? Because I look forward to meeting everybody in real life. Everybody. And I'm going to share this because I don't think Mama Roz would mind. Her daughter is getting ready to start college. And she's going, I love you, Mary Charles. And I've never met Mary Charles. I learned of Mary Charles on Big Baby's panel. Mary Charles is Big Baby's person. That's where I met her, where I saw her name and I clicked on her page and I subscribed to her page. And when I'm in wherever I see Mary Charles, and y'all know wherever I see y'all, it's my salutes with my emojis and all of my colorful stuff when I get to you. And I'm gonna put this out there. For those of you, sometime if I don't give you your individual, just know I probably didn't see it because some people chats be rolling so fast till you miss a lot of people. Exactly, our vibes click. And that's with a lot of people that I come across on YouTube. But Mama Roz, when I came across her, I was like, oh, there's something about this lady. Let me click with her, whatever. So we got to know each other on Pretty Truckers page. And we exchanged numbers because we got a lot in common. We got a lot in common. And she glad I met her, and I'm glad, vice versa, because her daughter is getting ready to go to college, and her daughter is going to college at LSU. And I'm a skip and a hop away from LSU. So if the baby may need something and Mama Roz can't get to her, then I'm gonna call Big Red Diva You see, so she feels safer with her baby being here, and we've been talking, and we've shared some things, and she say, Big Red Diva, I'm so glad I met you, and my I'm kind of at ease now because my baby is not gonna be by herself down there. Yes, LSU, Louisiana State University. Yes, ma'am. I'm 30 minutes walk and 2 minutes drive. So if the child needs me, I will be there for her. And she's protected all the way around the board because I'm well known in my city and I'm well respected in my city. And all she got to do is say, I know Chanel. And that's all they have to say. They don't even have to say my last name. I know Chanel. And the first thing, Big Red Diva, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, you good, you good, you good. You see, so you do have some genuine people on this app. You just have to have the spirit to discern that, okay, that's a good person. And she will be protected because I have children and I would want somebody to do it for me. So that's where it goes back to, it takes a village to raise a child. Yes, thank you. It takes a village. So, yes, I will date a man with no job. Yes, I will date a man that works at McDonald's because we're going to grow and we're going to end up owning the McDonald's eventually. Communicate with your partner. Let me know what you're looking for. And that way we could start off on the right track. It's no miscommunication and none of that. We all know what it is. So with that being said, you guys, I done did enough talking. Like I say, we were all over the place. Learn how to keep stay on one subject, but I'm a rambler. And sometimes it takes you there. You have to go here, there, just to get your point. So hopefully that was some advice to some of you guys. Mary Charles, you want the Big Mac to be freed. I know that's real. When they locked him up. Cause yeah, we're gonna have to get him on out of there because them Big Macs used to be something, baby. I used to love me a Big Mac, but they done got smaller. You notice that? But then, it's some other stuff that's being said about McDonald's, and I'm gonna have to do some research on that too. Thank you, Nika. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some research on that. And I have my intro and my outro, I guess. And you want to call it, I got to get my page and everything set up where all of this would be a little more professional, a little more professional. So with that, I'm going to end it. You guys have a great and wonderful day. May God bless you. And I am going to get in the YouTube streets and see what the hell is going on.
Where the conversation real and the vibe unmatched. Big Red Diva in the building. Let's talk. Pull up, morning, let's talk tonight. Big red diva got the mood just right. Real talk, real people, no filter vibes. The grown folk talk sector come alive. Pull up, tune in, let's vibe tonight. Conversation heavy, but the mood feel light. From love to life, we say what's real. Big red diva tell you how we feel. Pull up, tune in, let's talk tonight. Big red diva got the mood just right. Real talk, real people, no filter vibes. The grown folk talk sector come alive. Pull up, tune in, let's vibe tonight. Conversation heavy, but the mood feel light. From love to life, we say what's real. Big red diva tell you how we feel.
Salute.